Finished 8 books last week, so let's talk about them real quick. Emphasis here is on finished, not start and finished. I just finished. Okay. I am a mood reader. I usually have like 20 books going on at a time. So, starting off with Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This was such an interesting premise and it was exciting the whole time. I didn't like Jet very much, and I think that's why it didn't get a 5 star, but it was like a 3.5, 3.75. I would recommend it. It's like whimsical in a way. I finally finished The Spear Cuts Through Water. I would recommend that if you are a hardcore sci-fi fan. The book isn't necessarily hardcore sci-fi, but I feel like in order to understand kind of like the intricacies of it, you should be at the level of like really enjoying some more in-depth sci-fi novels. Also, if you liked Rebecca Roanhouse's like The Black Sun, that series, I think you might enjoy this because the way this is told is in like an oral traditions. It's a grandparent telling a story to their grandchild, but that is layered in to like you living and experiencing the story. I thought it was genius and I loved it, but just be warned, it's not exactly like an easy book. Don't Ask Why by Steph Nelson. No, they were all stupid as hell, and you should not read that book. They were dumb as hell. It wasn't even that exciting because everybody was so stupid. It was like a 2 star and I regret it. I finally finished my first N.K. Jemisin full-length novel. Everyone clap. And it was the one that I said I would never read. It was the 5th season, and I never wanted to read it because it has child loss as like one of the primary motivators for the main character, and I don't do well with books about child loss. So, yeah, but I did it. I'm proud of myself for doing it. I know that the series stands as like a 5 star for most people because of like the entirety of the series. I did really enjoy the first book. Didn't understand shit that was happening until like the last 150 pages. I think I gave it like a 4 star overall though. Then I read American Fantasy. That was just okay. It's like a 3.5 star. It was cute. It was like if the people from Sex and the City got old and then went on a cruise to follow and stalk a boy band, and like only one person gets any the whole time. But anywho, it was cute. Then I read Headlights by CJ Lead. Liked it, didn't love it. Although the scene that you'll repeatedly hear people talking about, like that scene, I didn't hate it, but the entire time I was like, but I didn't hate it. When the scene was over, I was like, that was dope. I like that she did that. So yeah, if you read that book and you know what scene I'm talking about, can we just say it was cool, but it was gross? Can we agree? I saw some people's reviews and they were like, it was so hot. Stop it. Then I saved the best for last because I actually had 2 nearly 5 star thrillers, mystery thrillers, suspense, whatever, back to back. The first one was Five by Ilona Bannister. I could probably talk about that book by itself for like an hour. It was fantastic. I am so glad that I did the audio for it because you don't even know who you're rooting for. Like the entire time, there are 5 people. You know, one of them is going to die. They're on this train platform. You start to learn their backstories. Everybody's kind of shitty, but also not kind of shitty at the same time. And then you don't find out who actually dies for a very, very long time. And then when you do, you don't know if you should feel relieved or really sad or whatever. And it's just marvelous. Well done. Then the last thing I read was Heather by Caitlin Mullen. This is so much different than I thought it was going to be, but in such a good way. So if you read God of the Woods, it kind of has a tone that is similar to that. But the premise of it is just that there is a small town detective that reopens a case that has been a cold case for like 30 years. And as she starts to investigate it, she ends up having like a really close connection to the case that she didn't know about, basically. But yeah, the writing was beautiful. The plot was mysterious enough to keep me guessing. And when the full thing came to be, it was with enough of a twist from what I was thinking for me to be very like, wow. Anywho, those are the things that I read this week. That was my very yappy review of it. And yeah, come back next week to see what I write.